to AARP Illinois' virtual event. It's so wonderful to have you with us. AARP is on a mission to connect with individuals across various communities, especially those aged 50 and above. We're here to listen, understand, and address the unique needs of you and your community as we age. Our goal is to enrich your experience by expanding our local activities, providing opportunities for you to discover and engage with all that life has to offer right here in your own community and virtually. As we journey through today's event, we invite you to consider joining our dedicated team of AARP volunteers. It's a chance to make a meaningful impact and help us better serve those 50 plus across the nation. Connect with us and be a part of this vibrant movement toward positive change. Welcome, and let's make this event both fun and transformative.
Good morning. Welcome to AARP Illinois' special virtual event. I'm Annetta Works Sally, volunteer leader with AARP. I'm with Courtney Herdman. Good morning, Courtney.
Hi.
Senior Associate State Director for AARP Illinois, and we're your Fraud Fighting Fraulettes. Welcome to our Become a Fraud Fighter virtual event. We're thrilled to have you today as part of our Illinois campaign to empower individuals, families, and communities to recognize, prevent, and report fraud. Fraud affects millions of people every year, and the best defense is awareness. Today, Courtney and I are going to talk about what it means to be a fraud fighter. Let me say that again. We're going to talk about what it means to be a fraud fighter, the free tools and kit you'll receive, and how you can make a real impact in our community. Before we get started with our discussion, we'd like to remind you, our Facebook and YouTube viewers, that you can ask questions. Yes, we welcome your questions, and share your comments also in the social media feeds. We'll do our best to address as many of your questions as possible during our conversation. Okay, Courtney, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get started. I've been excited about this campaign ever since you told me about it.
Yep.
So let's let our viewers know what fraud fighter, coming on board as a fraud fighter, is all about. So what does it mean, Courtney?
Yeah, so being a fraud fighter isn't necessarily being a detective or a cybersecurity expert or an expert in fraud or something like that. It's really about being informed, being alert, and really willing to share what you then know with others, right? So you get informed, you get all the tools that you need to feel really comfortable and secure in spotting a scam, in preventing fraud happening to you, but then really sharing it with others. And fraud fighters help, we really hope it will help protect you, families, neighbors, communities, by recognizing those scams early, reporting suspicious activity. So sometimes we can do everything we possibly can to prevent fraud, but it just happens. Mm-hmm. And so if in fact it happens, then reporting and making sure that you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping others by then reporting. That's what it means to be a fraud fighter: informed and share with others.
This is probably about the easiest thing that I am ever going to do. And I'm excited that we're going to empower our viewers and listeners about how to join us in the fight.
Yep.
To be better equipped, better aware, and able to share. So if our viewers would take a moment, when you hear the term fraud fighter, what comes to mind? Put that in the chat. Yep. Because I think it's important that we are all on the same sheet of music about what is fraud fighting and what does it mean when I'm sharing what is a fraud fighter and
Yeah.
making sure they understand what it means. So we're all on the same sheet of music.
I love
What
it.
about
I
you,
love it.
Courtney?
I know, I love it. Actually there was a lot of discussion about what we should call this, and not only this campaign, but really kind of this opportunity for people to really truly engage. And Fraud Fighter just kept coming up over and over again. And I think it's really someone who's just not, they're just not going to take fraud. Like they're going to take it and they're going to fight it. Right. And someone who, again, will stay informed, but really take action. That's what I think. Like sometimes we think of fight and we're thinking of like, wow, like, okay, they're taking action. Maybe it's like physical, right? But I do think there is a big part of this where it is about taking action too. Action to prevent fraud, action if in fact you have become a victim of any fraud, you're fighting it all the way from the beginning to the end, no matter where you are in the process. So anyway, Annetta, what like when you hear the term fraud fighter, what comes to mind for you, you think?
Well, I would have thought better aware to get in the fight, you know.
Yeah.
However, someone that has experienced the attack on my identity, and still I get calls and emails and things. For me, it is that when I hear fraud fighter, I'm going to be better aware how to fight, because I didn't know how to do it. So fraud fighter, yes, take action, but if I don't know, so as a fraud fighter, I'm looking forward to being better informed so that I can share with others who don't know how to fight fraud.
Yeah, I love it. I agree.
That's so good. Well, I'm sure we help some others just with our idea or our mindset around fraud fighting. So Courtney, why is community awareness so important in preventing fraud?
Yeah, I truly believe knowledge is power. And when we are more aware and we use our collective voice and take action, I think it makes a difference in anything really, not just fraud and anything, any issue, frankly. But I think if we as a community stay informed and are aware and truly understand some of those fraudulent activities that happen, we're not going to pick up the phone. We're not going to give our information, kind of just that full awareness of really how fraud happens, then we win. And I think we prevent fraud, right? Like, or we really put a dent in it, right? I think the thing is fraud sometimes might always happen, but it's the maybe it will be less because again, you're more aware of something because you were listening to this series, or you receive, are a part of our fraud fighter team, and you receive information that just helps you in fighting the fraud that then is all of a sudden in your face sometimes. So I, again, truly believe knowledge is power, awareness is power, and collectively we will help prevent fraud if we know more.
Courtney, that is so perfect. And that's how I feel today. Being a member of this team just helps me better understand that, yeah, fraud is going to come in different packages, different ways. And it's not just this and it's not just that. And so that awareness that I gained when I joined AARP helped me be able to take greater action to say, now I know how, or I know who to connect to should it happen to me, is everything. So as a part of this campaign, Courtney, every participant who signs up, and we are looking for everyone to get in the fight, will receive a fraud fighter kit completely free. Yes, FREE. These kits are designed to help us stay informed. I'm informed, but to stay informed, because fraud is ever changing, how it presents to us.
Yep.
So to help us educate others, we've got this Fraud Fighter kit. Can you share what's in the kit, Courtney?
Yeah, sure. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited. So here I'm kind of unveiling it like, it's a red box. Okay, super cute red box because that's AARP colors.
Yes, yes.
And so we have like brochures like on fraud fighting prevention tips, right? So we've got some glossy, publications, so written publications for sure. I think what is also very cool is we have some other kind of giveaways. I'll say like we have a little AARP Fraud Watch Network like tote bag because everybody likes a tote bag, right? We have a AARP t-shirt, a fraud fighting t-shirt, because we want to make sure we are prepared out there, right? Like if we're gonna fight fraud, we might as well look the part, right?
That's right.
There's lots of fun other things in here around like a calendar of events. So like if you want to attend an in-person event, if you are looking for information on virtual series, like those types of calendar things so people can get engaged in this bigger way. I know, I love it, right? And then what I really like too is there will be essentially like a one pager on advocacy bills. So things that people can take action on. So there's a bill in Springfield or there's a bill in, Congress right now, any of those types of things, there will be one pagers and fact sheets on different advocacy related pieces of legislation. And then there's these really cool, hopefully everybody can see these type of things, but these really cool postcards. And the postcard, it's kind of like a front and back, right? The postcard is actually you as the fraud fighter, we want you to take it out to the masses. And so you'll have 10 of these little postcards. And hopefully you can sign somebody else up to be a fraud fighter because you're going to be wearing all this cool stuff or you're going to have this cool stuff and you're going to know all this information. And someone inevitably is going to ask like, oh, hey, what are you doing with that? Or like, how do I get involved? And this is where you'd be like, well, hey, I know exactly how you can. And then there it is a postcard that it has our mailing address. They put a little stamp on it, put their obviously information. So then we can send them their own fraud fighting kit and sign them up then to be a fraud fighter. Now, the other thing that I absolutely love too, because again, you got to look the part too, is everyone receives I'm a fraud fighter AARP Illinois pin.
There we go.
And so everybody likes their pins and things to wear, like I said, but it's kind of like the badge of honor, right? Like here's your badge that you're a fraud fighter, which I think is really cool too. So the best part though is outside of getting this free kit, we're going to continue to send information as we know it about frauds and scams and things that are happening in the area and how people, again, can still stay connected, get information up to date, things that they can use, things that they need to know, and stay engaged in a bigger way, which I think is really, really cool too. So there you go. There's your free kit.
Oh my gosh. This kit is full of the goodies, information, and empowerment to share with others without being overwhelmed. I love one pagers because I don't want to have to read it. I want to embody it and then display it. And then you're going to have me all decked out. I got my shirt. But anyway, Courtney, which part of the kit do you think will be the most useful? I got mine.
Yeah. I mean, obviously those one pagers for sure. Right. Like I think, that when you have, again, information is power and knowledge is power. And so I think, any of those types of prevention tips and whatnot will keep us informed and keep us safe, hopefully. I also, for AARP purposes, I think the more people who know, the better, right? And so I think, I really do think that people hopefully will think this kit is great and you get a lot out of it, but that they will then feel empowered to help sign others up, right? And so we have those postcards in there. We really want people to sign 10 other people up, right? Like, and obviously with their permission, but it's sharing the information, right? And I think wearing a pin as, hey, wait, I am fighting fraud. I am courageous and brave, and I'm going to show others that I'm a fraud fighter. I like all those things. So I'm going to say all those things might be useful.
I'm with you because I didn't want to stay this victim and just talk about what had happened to me. I wanted to show this did happen to me. It was real. And this is what I've learned from that experience. Because
Mhm.
like I said, not just one, it continues to happen. But now I'm more aware and alert, and I recognize.
Yep.
And I have support. That's the most important. That's what I like about the kit. There's support in there to get people engaged, people more information, and the continued updates, that connection to keep them to stay, so they can stay more informed. That's
Right.
the key.
Yep.
Who in
Agreed.
your life and others would benefit most from the information in the kit?
Yeah, I really think it's really for anybody, any age. Obviously, we know our
Yeah.
AARP membership is over 50. But I really truly do think that fraud obviously can happen to anybody at any age, right? And so, I think of my mom, but I also think of, my nieces and nephews who are in their 20s and 30s, right? And so the kit is, and really just staying, staying involved with AARP and becoming an Illinois fraud fighter. Really want everyone to know that there isn't an age restriction. I would say over the age of 18 in some ways. I think about those kids going to college, right? But there really isn't an age restriction. And technically, to be a part of the Illinois Fraud Fighter team and this effort, you do not even have to be an AARP member. So if I really do think anybody could benefit from the information in the kit and become an Illinois Fraud Fighter. So join us.
So Courtney, this is wonderful. This is the kit of all kits. I want to make sure, I don't want to just glaze over it. How do people sign up, or what are the ways? You told us about the postcard.
Yep.
Can sign up and become a fraud fighter and receive their free kit.
Yep, absolutely. That's the number one question right now. I bet everybody has. I understand. Okay, so there should be a pin within our efforts here. Within, as you're looking on social media, you will see a link to a Google form. And it truly is just a few data points. Obviously, we got to send it to you in the mail. So, it's asking for your first name, last name, and your address, as well as an email address. So we can send emails post even you receiving the kit and becoming a fraud fighter. So in the comment section within the pin at the top of your page, there's that link to the Google form. If in fact you don't see it or you miss it, you can always go to our website, aarp.org/IL. And on our website, there will be a whole blog section and section on becoming an Illinois fraud fighter, and you will be able to access that Google form from our website as well. So 2 ways right now you can access, and again, very short Google form to fill out and receive your free kit and officially become an Illinois fraud fighter.
Thank you. I hope that answers the question from our YouTube viewer, where they ask, how can I get the fraud fighting kit, please? So they're already in. Courtney just shared the 2 ways, the Google form that's pinned into the chats in each of our social media, YouTube and Facebook. Also, it is available when you get your kit. You'll be able to then give it to others by signing them up with the postcards. Thanks, Courtney. I wanted to make sure we nailed that part.
Yep. Love it.
So once people sign up, and you talked about this too, but it warrants saying it again, making sure we bring clarity. What happens next after someone receives their kit?
Yep. Great question. Okay. So once you receive your kit, obviously we're so happy that you're willing to be a part of this, and you officially become an Illinois fraud fighter and become a part of our network. So we welcome you, and we are thankful for you being with us. And then what that means really then is you're going to have access to ongoing updates, alerts, opportunities to participate in community events, ways to take action in advocacy and pieces of legislation that are in Springfield or Washington. But I think most importantly is continuing to get those updates and alerts on scams that are going on, and how you can engage with us. Maybe share your story if you have one, you have questions, how you can ask those questions and get them answered, all of those types of things. Obviously, you don't need any special training to be a Illinois fraud fighter. It's just a willingness to stay informed and share then what you learn with others. That's what we're going to kind of being, these kind of small action steps is also a part of this. So like posting a scam alert on your social media, or reminding a family friend or a neighbor to, hey, don't forget to verify a caller's identity if someone called you, to make sure that you can then help yourself, but then help someone else in staying safe out there. And we can hopefully all together prevent real harm and the fraud and scams that take place in our lives. So it is, we are going to be so happy to have you welcome into our network and be an Illinois fraud fighter, and then keep you safe going forward. That's our goal for sure.
That part. How do you think the kit can help communities stay safer?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I really do think, again, that knowledge is power. I've said it like 3 times, but I truly believe it. And I think that, when people hopefully have this awareness and extra things that continue to remind them of being safe, that just all of us collectively as a community will do better, will be better, and ultimately, hopefully really truly fight fraud. That's the ultimate goal, fight the fraud and keep ourselves safe as much as we can.
Well, this campaign puts it all in a nice package for us, the kit, and it also allows those that have been victimized by scamming, identity theft, and a place to share that story.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was asked to share my story, I knew then that I wasn't alone. I was given information. I was also given the opportunity to say, they said, I was sorry. AARP said, Annetta, we're sorry that happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
Here, we have information, resources that can help you be better aware, informed, and empowered to share, so that together we're fighting fraud. So Courtney, you said that there doesn't need to be special training. I can attest to that. I'm a fraud fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you've had something impact you or had an attack of a scam directly or indirectly, a loved one, you can be a fraud fighter.
100%. And I really truly believe someone who's actually experienced fraud and gone through some sort of peril in this, they're going to be the best fraud fighters because they can share their experience. It helps somebody else.
Yes.
And truly, I think that you become so hyper vigilant and you become hyper aware when you've had this experience that you're really going to be able to fight fraud going forward, because it can happen again, right? It doesn't
Yes.
stop necessarily, right? So we're trying to stop it in its tracks. And when you become completely 100% aware, the likelihood is less. It just will be. So I think the best fraud fighters are people who've had experience in fraud for sure. They're going to know what to look out for and be able to help somebody and help somebody else through this too, for sure.
And I love helping others. So if my story, if my participation in the fight, or my sharing how to fraud fight, I'm all for it.
Amen. I hear you.
How we can sign up, the ways we can sign up, and what's important, and what's in it for me, the fraud fighter. You've shared that, and I appreciate that. What can fraud fighters expect next after hearing this?
Yep.
What should be their next step?
Yeah. So obviously outside of, signing up and receiving their kit and all of that, I think the thing is there's going to be a lot of action around several pieces of legislation that we're going to work on in Springfield as well as at the national level. But just speaking for Springfield and legislation that we know is pending, there's stuff around very, very specific consumer protections, AI, artificial intelligence, and then there's going to be a huge effort around gift card scams.
Yes.
And that's going to be kind of one of the first main things that we concentrate on is this gift card scams, because there is a lot of scams around gift cards. So we're going to be talking about that in our next month within our series here, Anetta. But I think that our fraud fighters can expect information on whatever the latest scam is, and then also advocacy actions to take around gift card scams and other types of scams that are going on. So again, we are collectively not only fighting fraud and prevention, but also taking action and really holding criminals accountable, but holding our legislators accountable and like, hey, we need your help to help us fight fraud. And that's why we're going to take it to our General Assembly members in Springfield.
Yes, I am pumped. I'm excited and I'm fired up. Fraud, you better watch out.
Yep, I love it.
So Courtney, what else should people know about this becoming a fraud fighter campaign?
Yep. So we are going to be planning and executing an air game, meaning you're going to see lots of different things, communication efforts and whatnot, but also this ground game type of campaign. So air game and ground game. And so we have lots of things planned for the whole rest of the year, but we are really, really starting out strong in the month of April. There'll be an April Blitz on lots of different fraud activities to really take advantage of in-person and virtual programming. Again, lots of efforts around our kits, and again, making sure that we're continuing to put out communication and information that people need and want. So definitely be checking out our website, again, aarp.org/IL. Stay connected to virtual event series like our Fraud Fighting Fraulettes, and you will hopefully be informed and feel comfortable and fight fraud ultimately. So lots more to come around this campaign. This is it is a long-term effort. This is not a sprint. We're in a marathon, and we can't wait to be with everybody and really do this together. So really looking forward to it.
I'm glad this is coming out now, because the gift cards, which we're going to be talking about next month and in the months to come, we've gotten questions and we are ready to answer. So with that being said, now is the time to sign up so that you have your kit. You're empowered and you've got the information, but always know you have support anytime they have questions, right, Courtney?
You got it, 100%.
Okay. Well, I don't see any questions in our chat right now. Looks like we've answered the one that we did get, so that's a good thing. Again, you can watch this replay and hear it again. And again, questions, you can always go to the website. So Courtney, I want to thank you for kicking us off to become a fraud fighter, and that we're in this for the long haul. If there's fraud, you will find AARP. I'd like to thank everyone for joining today's Becoming a Fraud Fighter virtual event. It's been great. Your participation shows us that you care about protecting your community and staying one step ahead of scammers. Remember, awareness is power. The more we talk about fraud, the harder it becomes for scammers to succeed. Your fraud fighting kits will be sent shortly. Sign up today, and we encourage you to share what you learned with others and ask them to join us. If you or someone you know has experienced a scam, don't stay silent. Report it, talk about it, and learn from it. Together, we can build a safer and more informed community. Stay alert, stay connected, and most importantly, stay safe. Again, if you'd like to become an Illinois fraud fighter, go to our website, aarp.org/IL. And you can also follow the link in the chat, whichever is convenient for you. For more information regarding fraud, you can call 877-908-3360 or by visiting our website, aarp.org/ Fraud Watch Network, all one word. That's AARP.org/Fraud Watch Network. Courtney,
Awesome.
thank you so much. If
No,
like
thank
more,
you so much. I hope everyone has the most wonderful day, and yeah, it's here we go.
let's go. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Have a